I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Diamond Head Water and Sewer Board for April 11th, 2024 at 4:03. Could you please call the roll? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we call the order now?
Call roll.
Chairman Brian Griffith,
Here.
Vice Chairman Louis Sartell,
Here.
Treasurer Mark Bisecker is absent, Commissioner Arlen Griffey,
Here.
and Commissioner Eric Nolan.
Here.
Thank you.
Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda before we start this evening? There being none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Public comments. Do we have any public comments for this evening?
No, sir.
Okay. That brings us to the minutes of the last meeting on March 28th of 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 28th of 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Corrections? There being none, I call a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous. General Manager's report. Mr. Carden.
Thanks, sir. We'll start with the elevated water tank project, which, as we know, was closed out already. The altitude valve project, the scope of work is currently being redesigned by the engineers and myself. The water system improvement project phase 2 has been completed, of course, and the water system improvement project phase 3, this project is substantially complete as of December 1st, and the contractor has completed the punch list items. The contractor has completed the cutting and capping of the existing mains, which we've been talking about the last meeting or two, and the project is 100% complete. If needed, any additional work will be completed as a warranty item. Sewer improvement project basins 13, 16, and 17. The final two 15-inch lines are now complete as of yesterday. The contractor's requested substantial completion, which we'll get the paperwork together in the next few days. The contractor has been working about 2 weeks on the punch list, which is now approximately 75% complete. The project overall is about 97% complete. Lift Station 17 Force Main and the Lift Station 26 improvements will be open tonight. Bids will be open tonight. We had no abandonment of easements this meeting. The Colo Court ditch is still standing, believe it or not,
Even after all that rain?
even after.
I'm surprised.
The MDOT roundabout project, all those documents have been submitted for closeout. Some highlights from the maintenance department were 5 sewer cleanout castings installed, 1 sewer lateral repair, 1 water service line repair, 1 new water and sewer connection installed. Some additional items, the GIS integration that we've been working on, the originally scheduled 2-week follow-up was postponed due to unexpected circumstances and is yet to be rescheduled. Engineers are preparing the field training references and the field training guides for personnel. And the McKeekee Drainage Project, as requested, an official letter was sent to the City of Diamond Head City Manager. And that's all I have for now.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Harden?
No, sir.
Carden.
No, sir.
Okay, moving on. The bid openings. Can I get a motion to approve the bid openings for lift station number 17 Force Main Replacement Project and lift station number 26 Pump Improvements Project?
So moved.
Second. Second. Second.
Any discussion? There being none, a call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Yep. Sir.
If we don't grab one of these, yeah, let's do 26. All right, the first bid I'm gonna open is from LJ Construction, lift station 26. Certificate of Responsibility number 12105 MC. All right, he's got his bid bond. Thank you. All right, total base bid would be $225,038.54. $225,038.54. Yes, ma'am. Yes. All right. Next one is gonna be from Mitchell Contracting. And they're out of state, Madisonville. Got his bid bond. And his number is $244,750. And 0 cents. All right, next bid is from Hemp Hill. Certificate of Responsibility number 02449 MC. Has a bid bond. And the base bid is $210,540. Yes, he is Mississippi. Next bid is DNA Underground. sealed. He's got his bid bond. He is a resident contractor. Certificate of Responsibility number 20907 MC. And his total base bid is $252,675.00. Last one is from Moran Hauling. Certificate of Responsibility number 09083 MC. He is a resident contractor and he has his bid bond. Total base bid, $81,794.25. Shoot. I think they got some math wrong in here.
Can you say that again?
$81,794.25. He's got some math wrong. I can see it already.
Can't be right.
It is. Yeah, he's got
Nobody's
$777 for the 45 horsepower pumps. That's not. Yeah. Should be $77,000.
Nobody's gonna donate one.
All right.
Is that it?
That's it. Lift station 26.
Those were all for 22?
26.
26.
Lift station number 26, pump improvements.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we didn't get anything from bottom to top, but got 5.
All right. Lift station number 17.
We'll take all the bids into consideration after this, and I'll, once I find out that they did make an error, I'll go back to the contract and give them a chance to, tell me if it's an error or not an error. I'm sure it is. Just judge about the number, and, we'll forward the bid. Actually, it'll be recommended to the board, and the board will make a decision in the next meeting.
Yeah, because all we do is acknowledge that we received them.
Right. All right, this is gonna be lift station 17, force main replacement. First bid I'm opening is bottom to top construction. Certificate of Responsibility number 23104 MC.
got his bid bond. His total base bid is $205,512.60. Yes. Next bid is DNA Underground Certificate of Responsibility number 20907 MC. He's got his bid bond. He is a resident contractor. His base bid is $198,365.00. All right, our last bid for this one is from Moran Hauling, Certificate of Responsibility number 09083. They are a resident contractor. They have their bid bond. And total base bid is $215,555.00.
You say that was the last one?
That was the only
last
three?
one. Only three.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
But you go back to Moran Hauling on the number 26 pump improvements and question that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'll go through and itemize their bid tab. I'll do a certified bid tabulation and highlight all the errors and send that back to the board, and we'll make a decision. It looks to me like it's a pretty blatant error, though.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to acknowledge the receipt of all bids, to take all bids under advisement, and to authorize Seymour Engineering to review bids and return to the board with recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion now? No?
No.
Can I have a quick,
Yes.
will the blatant error disqualify their bid? Moran Hauling?
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't disqualify them.
Wait.
You're just gonna retabulate it.
Lawyer's gonna talk here in a minute.
It is a board decision. Who are you, sir? Please identify your name.
Jim Nichols from Hemp Hill Construction.
Your Hemp Hill, okay. It is a board decision after the engineer reviews and sees what the errors actually are. Then the board can make an informed decision as to whether or not they want to throw the bid out or waive the error as being minimal. So to say hypothetically right now, we're gonna do A or B, it's a little premature. We've got to let them go evaluate these bids.
And Moran is a local, is a state contractor.
I think they're Mississippi contractor, yes, sir.
Yes, my question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. It moves unanimously. Okay, construction engineering projects. 6.1, sewer improvements Phase 1 and 2, basins 13, 16, 17 project. 6.1A, motion to approve Suncoast Infrastructure Pay App number 20 in the amount of $186,686.73 for the period of March 1, 2024 through March 31, 2024, leaving a remaining balance of $541,776.48 on this contract.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith?
Yes, I'm sorry, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Okay.
what is your question?
Any
What is your question?
discussions on this?
Oh, no, no, no.
Okay.
None here, sir.
None here.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Unanimous. 6.2, Tower Number 2 Altitude Valve Project. 6.2.A, none. Water System Rehab Project, Phase 2 Project, 6.3A, nothing. Water System Rehab Phase 3 Project, 6.4A, motion to approve DNA Underground Change Order Number 1 to decrease the contract amount by $66,890.10, changing the contract amount from $2,907,873 to $2,840,982.90, and adding 170 additional days to the contract, which changes the substantial completion date to December 1st, 2023. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None here, sir.
I think the thing that I had questions on was the fact that it says that we're adding 170 additional days
To the contract.
to the contract. But it means it was supposed to be finished 170 days prior to December 1st, 2023. So, okay, that's what I wanted to make clear. And so, we're basically saying this project is just about finished,
Yes, sir.
except for any punch list items
Hopefully.
or yeah, except for any more punch list items, so
I
to
have
speak.
to add, hopefully,
And the contract amount went down. So,
Yeah,
66,000.
Pretty good.
Good engineers.
any other questions or discussions?
No, sir.
No, you actually framed the question the same way I would, Mr. Ortel.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That carries unanimously. MD Roundabout Utility Relocation Project, 6.5.A. Motion to spread upon the minutes the executed LJ Construction Change Order Number 1 that was approved by the board on March 28th, 2024. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No?
None here,
There
sir.
there being none? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. 6.6A, Lift Station 17 Force Main Replacement Project. Motion to approve Seymour Engineering invoice number 9045 in the amount of $3,300 for the period of March 1st, 2024 through March 30th, 2024, leaving a remaining balance of $11,450 on this contract. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Nope.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Lift station, 6.7 point A, lift station 26 pump project improvement project. Motion to approve Seymour Engineering invoice number 9044 in the amount of $3,500 for the period of March 3rd, 2024 through March 30th, 2024, leaving a remaining balance of $17,200 on this contract. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Miscellaneous construction engineering projects, there being none. We move on to the financials. The docket of claims and financial reports. 7.1.A, motion to approve payment of the docket of claims in the total amount of $62,669.94 as attached hereto. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Motion to acknowledge payment of the unapproved docket of claims as detailed in Section 6 in the total amount of $193,486.73 as attached hereto. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion?
None.
No.
There being none, motion carries unanimously. Oh, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving too fast, Chair.
You're doing a fine job.
7.1.C, motion to approve payment of the customer deposit refund register in the total amount of $90.20 as attached hereto. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
And second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. 7.1.D, Treasurer's Report for 3/31/2024.
Thank you. Our available bank balance as of March 31st, 2024 was $7,701,517.68. Of this available cash, $5,114,848 is budgeted in the 5-year CIP plan. $1,906,758 is for operating and maintenance, and the remaining $679,912 is the emergency reserve. Our bond principal debt balance is $18,731,000. Our bad debt transfers for March were $123.59, and year-to-date is $118.85. Our total revenues are at 50%, which is on budget for the year. However, operating revenues are at 46%, which is slightly below budget. The March bill cycle indicates a 6% decrease in operating revenue from last month. However, a 2% increase in revenue from the same time last year. Our total expenses are at 44%, which is below budget for the year. Our operating ratio goal is 1.10, and we're at 1.79. Our debt ratio goal is 1.25, and we're at 3.27. Our CIP project spending is at 22%, which is also below budget for the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tony. Old business? There being none? New business and discussion items. Motion to discuss letter received from the City of Diamond Head regarding a rezoning application request for tax parcel number 132H-1-03 hyphen 006 period 000, which is located adjacent to the southernmost district property line. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Now, for discussion.
Yeah.
You want me to take it?
Yes.
Somebody.
All right,
Or Tony. Somebody.
I'm ready. Let me get all my stuff in order. So the district received, earlier this week, or toward the end of last week, a notice from the city that there was an application by, Jeffrey and Karen Pressman to rezone, a parcel immediately adjacent to the administrative offices of the district and the laydown yard that's directly behind the district.
So that's your offices back there where they're digging up dirt? Is that right?
The you know where the trailers are?
Yeah.
It'd be right behind the trailers
Thank you.
and that laydown yard.
Yep, got it.
This might help too.
Oh, you have a map.
I did have a map.
I didn't have a map.
Well,
I brought this.
I went, I
You
had,
probably sent me one.
I,
There's our office, there's our,
No, thank you.
here's the property that they were talking about.
yeah,
Is it just this little square, or is this
No,
whole?
it's this
No.
whole-
It's that whole, okay, I got it, I see it.
no, it's.
I'm good.
It's
Thank you.
13,
sure they sent that to me.
it's 13
Yeah, I know where it
acres.
was, yeah.
13
A little,
acres?
it's about 13.7 acres.
What does that mean to us? Less work, less?
Well, it could mean a variety of things. That's why I asked for it to be added as a discussion item. And, I did send it to Commissioner Nolan because he is a zoning guru. That's what he does every day.
I do it every day.
He does it every day, and so I sent it to him earlier this week and asked him to take a look at it. And then I went, and that's why I was a little bit late, I went and met with this, Mr. Rich with the city to look at the actual application. And
May I pause you there?
absolutely,
Guru, what do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, the properties, what they're doing is they're transitioning from a zoning base to a use-based type zoning with the city. So, what they're proposing to change, it's currently in what's called a C1, which is a commercial district. And they're proposing to put it to an Aloha district, mixed use. Which
So it's from C1 to mixed
may,
use.
may I
C1.
interrupt you now
Sure.
for just a moment? So based on my meeting, therein is the first discrepancy. So they're not gonna recommend, even though that's what they did put in the notice,
Mhm.
that it was gonna go Aloha. They are now going to propose from Jex East is going to be the Aloha district. And I apologize, I didn't have time
No,
to
that's
get,
all right.
I got these. And from Jex West is gonna be what they call town center.
Okay.
So everybody don't have to
No, that's
share.
fine.
Okay, so this is in the
So-
Aloha district.
Yeah, so this parcel will be what is gonna be called town center. The difference being, as I was trying to read it, and as he explained it to me, is that on the Aloha district, they have limited the height on the buildings in the
35
Aloha
feet.
to 35 feet.
I read some of this.
In the town center district, there will not be that restriction. So, that is an unknown. You're going mixed use, and we do not know what their new height's gonna be, but probably at least 65 feet. Now, the problem with that,
Condos, most likely, right?
or a townhomes, or
Yeah. same
hotel,
thing.
which,
That's all good to me.
well, is it?
Yeah, it
Is
really
it?
is.
Well, it is, except for the fact.
Why is it not good?
What about the safety, you've
There's-
got a
There's 60-foot hotels all over America. I mean,
not sitting next to a $40 million wastewater treatment plant.
Well, there's a point, right?
I mean, this is y'all's decision.
Right, but if it fell on the plant, I mean, let's take worst possible case, let's go to doomsday immediately,
Yeah,
which is the 1%
which
view.
is our job.
It is, but it's also the 1% view. That's certainly
Yeah.
on the end of the bell curve. Wouldn't they have to pay for it, make it right, whoever owned the thing?
How are you gonna,
I mean, things fall over all the time, and people are insured, and, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to be obtuse. I mean, I sincerely don't really see a problem. I mean,
Okay, well, that's why we brought it to you.
but others may. I mean, I'm not in charge. I'm not even the expert. Is it preferences? I mean, is people just, well, we don't want that. We've never had that before. Is that it, or?
No, I think the bigger issue for the district,
Right.
given what
Is
you have.
the risk to the.
Well,
yeah.
that, and you've got your laydown yard there too. So for every project, your equipment and your
Right.
supplies and materials that's where you've housed them historically.
Right.
With minimal, with zero impact to it. The issue becomes whether or not you start bringing this domino effect in. That since incorporation, this was originally zoned to C1. There have been no zoning changes in the area.
Right.
We do not know, Mr. Rich explained to me that the application, arguably may be premature. There is no use projected.
They don't have anybody lined up to do
This is
anything.
totally speculative to market the property. There are no utilities there, and so you would have to have a developer come in and do all that,
Right.
which is not abnormal. That's
Right.
all typically normal. But you need one piece to change.
Right. You have to
And
rezone.
then it gets a lot easier, and it gets a lot easier, and then all of a sudden, all of that has built up, and I'm not
Right.
saying that's bad.
That's
but
business
all-
development activity,
But
not
all of
necessarily
us-
water board activity, other than a risk to our operation. Am I
And-
wrong?
Well, that, and then,
Yeah.
you know, at what point, I've never,
Plant's an eyesore to my family home.
That's a
That
concern.
smells, I mean,
it
that's.
has.
That happens all the time.
That's a
The
nuisance.
noise.
Bogalusa, they built a town around a pulp plant and then complained about the pulp. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I'm with you.
Gulfport, you've got that
Yeah.
down by the golf course and on Gulfport Lake, that live
Right.
state, the old plant in Gulfport, and it's it really is terrible.
Right.
But when you're sitting there and you've gone there since incorporation, that plant was there, and you're going to knowingly build this around it.
Can-
And I don't know
Can
that.
I make a recommendation? Because the zoning runs with the land and it doesn't necessarily run with the project,
Right.
maybe we shouldn't give an affirmative towards the project until we see a project.
That
You know,
makes
rather
really
than
good
making it a marketing ploy for him to get somebody else to come in, just tell him, hey, until you
Right.
show us a project, we're gonna be in opposition to it.
Yeah, but if I may.
Because if you rezone it to something that's very intensive and very high density, and then that doesn't happen, you've opened up the door for other high density stuff in that town center development, which I understand. The town center concept is gonna be fine. Do I think it's gonna work there? There's a lot of wetlands, I don't know.
Many other obstacles.
Yeah, many other obstacles in the way. But I don't know that I would be in favor of it unless I saw a specific project that was going on the property.
You would think a town
Yeah.
center would be the center,
Right.
the Aloha area, not.
They don't have any property in the town center to make it town center.
Exactly.
Well, in a weird twist of fate, I deal with this a lot. NASA has been dealing with encroachment for the last 15, 20 years. Marshall Space Flight Center being the most encroached. I mean, the city, they don't have we have a buffer zone at Stennis. I'll make this very short. We have a buffer zone at Stennis, so that prevents encroachment. They didn't have that at Marshall. So the town has built up neighborhoods right to their fences, and now the town complains and shut down their ability to test rocket engines at Marshall. I get it. It is a point. No, I understand it very well. However, semicolon, I'm always pro-business. I really am. And I would say this. Let's say there's a future where they build, I'm going to exaggerate horribly, probably offend many people, don't mean to. They build 57 condos so they can see the swamp. I'm not sure what view they're trying to get. I guess they can see the river from there. I don't know. Y'all would have to tell me. And then they say, well, you just can't have your plant there. I'm cool with getting a brand-new plant for another $75 million or whatever if they want it to move.
I think it'd be hard to convince the feds who paid for that plant.
But that's my thing. I mean, I don't see where one impacts the other than the risk, which you pointed out very early. Certainly, there's a risk. But I think that risk is mitigated by their insurance. I mean, whoever,
Somewhat, I mean, you
Right.
know, you're not gonna see, depending on what the problem that might
Right.
occur, it could be very costly, and most
Right.
liability policies may not, you know, even with an umbrella, the max you're gonna see is probably around 5 million. I'm not saying
Right.
anybody's gonna give that, but for an unknown at this time, which we don't know what the project is, and I'm not advocating.
no, I get it.
I kind of am advocating, because I think he's too soon
Well, I think
here.
that's what our commissioner said,
But-
too.
but-
I like
but-
what you said.
I don't like the
Thank you.
government telling a property owner, you know, unnecessarily, well, you can't use your property. I don't think that's right.
That's
But
right.
alternatively, you have a duty to make sure, and you can, everybody can say what they want to, but the first bad whiff of wind that comes by, they're gonna blame the plant. And so,
Okay. People complain every day.
every day, but right now, we don't have it.
They might, I mean, there are positive things that could happen. They could build a condo, a luxury condominium, and people love the view, and then they don't like looking at the water treatment plant, and they build walls for us. That's kind of a good thing, I think. And I've seen that happen before, where they built the condos before they thought it through, and then they put up sound barriers to the interstate. So, yeah, there's a comment out there?
So are you talking about rezoning here, or are you talking about soil and water?
We've drifted. I mean, I think the thing on the table is about, the best thing I've heard today is we shouldn't consider worrying about rezoning it until there's a project to consider. But in the grander scheme of things, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, and to minimize, to wrap it up, y'all, that's the gist of the issue.
yeah.
The planning, so the application's been filed with planning, and the planning commission meets on the 23rd, which would be prior to our next meeting. So if we're going to oppose it, we would either, they indicated that we could oppose in person or via writing. I would think we would rather do it in person in order to see the presentation, to see what they're actually proposing, because there might be something different than this
Right.
in this application.
Probably would be.
I would think so.
Yeah, that's
And,
often the case.
And then, you know, oppose it, and then if that's the will of the board, and then that recommendation, the planning commission would make a vote, and then they would make a recommendation to the city council, and the city council would vote. And I asked, what the likelihood of him withdrawing this application, because it is premature. He's just trying
Sounds
to.
like testing
and-
the water kind of
And,
thing.
well, he said he didn't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna roll the dice, so.
Roll the dice and
Try to get it rezoned.
rezone it and then market it
Mhm.
like that, as opposed to
But-
marketing it and seeing what shows up.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think the city's kinda got some issues too, because all of a sudden you're going from this Aloha district with the 35 feet up, now we're gonna do this side town center, and we're just gonna, we don't have restrictions on this side. We don't know what those numbers are.
Right.
And everything, so it's a little bit different than it was put in the note, so there's some issues.
Yeah, I saw that right away, yeah.
There's some issues.
Interesting.
I don't know, but anyway, that's it in a nutshell, and it's up for y'all to decide, you know, how to proceed.
Chairman?
Yeah, I think we should go there, Mrs. Trish, and oppose it, saying it's premature for us to make a decision on it. That sounds to me to be the best thing. If you could write something up for us to look at
I agree with that.
and send it out to us before the meeting, we could all get back to you. And then if, I don't know, if Mr. Griffith is going to be around to attend that meeting,
I'll make a point to be there too.
okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
I think that's the right.
Yeah, the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
look, we're not against you, but
Mm-hmm,
we don't know what we're looking at.
right.
Right,
We think you're a little premature at this time,
right.
without a fleshed out project.
I agree with that.
I mean, why would you want us to let you go above 35 feet if you don't know how
Yeah.
high you want to be? Now, I'll tell you, that property has had several, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, He came in with an apartment project he was wanting to do, but I think he's,
I do
that's
recall
right, he was
that.
wanting to do Section 8.
That was a hullabaloo.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Okay,
this is Brian.
yes.
So I want several things were mentioned that I might or might not be there. I will be there. I think it is exactly the right thing to do to oppose a change in zoning until we understand what we are potentially confronted with,
That's right.
at least in a lot better scoping with an actual project design than to simply try to alter the zoning for marketing purposes.
Right.
And in that particular presentation, which I think we should give, we make it clear that we are very cognizant of the number of times that a community going exactly down this path across the United States has ultimately built its way into the confines of the critical wastewater systems that are supporting the entire city, only to tell them that they've got to move because now they got a different idea with relation to town center apartment complexes in excess of 35 feet, the fumes, the lights, the noise, et cetera, and that will not happen.
24-hour access.
And in each occasion, even as they do that, since this is both I presume, a recorded session, we needed to point out for anybody that would actually reach those minutes and or recordings that we are warning, not that we would stop development, we are just warning the developers as to what they will confront as an immovable object. I appreciate your point, Mr. Commissioner Griffey, but an actual move in the federal sense of a wastewater plant like ours to a different physical location, demolition, et cetera, I don't think you're even in the realm of the neighborhood of cost at $75 million.
Well, I agree.
And
I completely agree. I mean, it's a ludicrous
so I
thought,
think
but
you're
that's
close.
their option.
It is a ludicrous thought, but it's not like pushing a pig farming operation or a chicken farming operation off. This one ain't going anywhere.
Well, while I agree, everything can be done with engineering and money.
Engineering
We do it all the
money,
time,
but,
and we spend too much
Time.
money. And time, sorry.
And
and
time.
but there's
They're trying.
there's several reasons why some of the projects of the past have gone the way that they have. Tennis World's a great example, and the ball fields. No one has quite. We talked about the challenges, but that's just neither here nor there. That's for the either well-versed or foolish developers to come in and find out that they've got a mosquito and gnat haven there, the likes of which they've never seen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Relative to moving into those wetlands that Commissioner Nolan pointed out. There's not some wetlands down there. There's a lot.
It's mostly weather.
So,
It is, I think it's odd,
Exactly.
just odd, but
yeah. So, but again, I think the most important thing for us is to put our marker on the table, that we aren't, I couldn't agree more possibly with Commissioner Nolan's characterization. Until we see something less abstract, no.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Griffith.
I have another
Yes,
thought.
sir.
As we go to this meeting or write the letter or whatever, and maybe this is premature, or maybe just food for thought, is there some way we can open a discussion that says, look, we got this hugely expensive federally built processing area. In your city planning, shouldn't we plan for, I don't know, 50-yard or 100-yard easement around it so that we just don't do stupid things? Like build a big giant, I'm exaggerating for effect, but build a 7-story, 8-story building right next to the plant.
I also couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
My exact same thoughts associated with, if they are going to go into
Right.
major
Put it in.
change, to try to invite a completely different development structure, then we need enough buffer that we at least minimize the insults that will be cast
I think those are great ideas, but the plant, the plant was moved in response to Katrina.
Right.
Katrina happened in '05. It was relocated there because basically, as I recall, that is the highest point in the city. We took it as high and dry just about as we could get it, and so
I
that's.
didn't know that.
And it's high and dry. We really could not move it.
It's not the highest, it was the
I
highest.
know,
we could-
I know
we
what
could
you,
reach.
of your options.
Of
right,
our
each.
options.
Yeah.
It's pretty high and dry.
Yeah, I think you
And
did
it
tell me
was
that.
picked prior to incorporation in 2012. The zoning map was drawn in 2012, and we were colored blue at that time, which is it's governmental use.
Right.
And the remainder around it was the commercial and everything right where Mr. Pressman's property is now. When the city did this 2040 plan,
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. There has been zero zoning changes since incorporation. So they go and they do this plan. There's they say there's this public need. Well, is there? Because there've been no zoning changes. So you go through and you're looking at this, and you would think when they're doing the Envision 2040 plan that has said, hey, we got a wastewater treatment plant here. Not
That's
such
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
idea to
Right.
line up a row of condominiums right beside it, but that's exactly what they're planning on doing. So we can ask for it, but I'm not sure you're gonna get it.
Right.
And I may add, there's gonna be a height restriction by the FAA regardless. We dealt with that with the location
Right.
of the water tower, so there's gonna be a restriction above anything else from the FAA.
And our current restriction's 35 feet, right?
On what?
35 feet. Isn't that the current general restriction in Diamond Head?
I think so.
I think it is. I don't know how many floors that is.
In most of the districts, the heights are 35 feet.
Yeah,
Most.
how many floors is that roughly? 3 floors, 4 floors, do you know?
3 floors with a
Yeah,
roof
that's
on
what I
it.
thought, 3 or 4. So, yeah. But the FAA comes into all that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will get a draft letter. It'll be brief. I'll send it to y'all, probably next week. Get your comments back, and then, I think that while, Mr. Griffith would be the person to address
Absolutely.
the commission on our behalf, I think if y'all are available, it is very good to show a united front.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so any of you that can attend, I think that would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
send us an email.
I will.
Yeah, the one that comes to my regular email, whatever you send, Tony and David, I get those. Because I agree with you. I mean, and I think Commissioner Griffith will do a very good job in saying, look, we're not gonna move this thing. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. So why don't we cook into the 2040 plan, what would work and what wouldn't work? We're not opposed. I mean, I'm not. We'd have to vote and all that, but generally, I don't think anyone's opposed to things that make sense and grow the city. There's no opposition to that, but don't do something that's immediately either not gonna sell because it's right next to the processing plant. So then now it becomes this big white elephant with the city has some massive investment. Maybe even we have investment with hooking up to it. I don't know, but something that won't work because it's right next to a treatment plant, or something that's just gonna make a future problem that we'll have to deal with. Now, I just said that more for the minutes than for anything else. Right.
Thank you. So can I get a motion then to have Ms. Tricia put together a proposal for the meeting scheduled for April 23rd at City Hall Chamber for the Planning and Zoning Commission, and that as many members as this board has, hopefully everyone will attend that as well, and she will circulate that letter and proposal to all of the board members for our input well in advance of that meeting on April 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None here,
Ms.
sir.
Trish, you good with that?
I'm good with that. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Griffith? Brian?
I'm sorry. Very good with that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
No-
everyone's patience. I didn't mean to take.
No problem. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Before I move to adjourn, the next meeting of the Board of Commissioners is scheduled for April 25, 2024, at 4 p.m. at the Diamond Head City Hall Council Chambers, 5000 Diamond Head Circle, Diamond Head, Mississippi. Now may I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify